excellent. It is Wednesday. What day is it? It is 11th of March. We are already more than halfway through on the SharePoint Hackathon, which is running from 2nd of March until 16th of March. And we're seeing already so many submissions actually coming in. So don't miss out. There are good awards, multiple hackathon categories to submit, and you don't have to be a developer. We cover all of that today within today's hackathon. So again, from March 2nd to March 16th, and the SharePoint Hackathon is coming. You can see all of the details, all of the insights, awards, and everything else, which we'll cover in this live stream as well. But you can also type AKMS SPFx25/hackathon, and you will see all of the rules, everything else from that website as well, where we, by the way, also have discussions, and you are able to submit your submissions as well. Now, my name is Esa Juvonen. I'm a principal product manager for Microsoft, and I've been kind of hosting the live show and streams within this hackathon. And then we have always a secondary host. And today, the secondary host is Paolo. Good to have you here.
Yeah, hello everyone. I'm really excited to be here. I'm Paolo Pialorsi, Senior Developer Advocate. My work is to spread information and knowledge about how to extend Microsoft 365 Copilot.
Excellent. So today's live stream topic will be SharePoint Framework, and we kind of teased out a bit about Copilot and APIs and automation and expanding SharePoint and M365. What do you think about SharePoint Framework, Paolo?
Well, SharePoint Framework is definitely one of my loves, because I've been a developer for many, many years, and since SharePoint Framework sorry, I forgot about that. Sorry about that. Yeah, I mean, I've been working on SharePoint Framework since day zero, I would say, and I really love it. So can't wait to see this session.
Yes, definitely. I think we'll obviously we will have a SPFx PMs joining up us. But wait a minute, that's also me. I have multiple tasks, so I will be actually one of the persons who are talking today on that section. But before we go actually there, let's a bit of a recap. What is the hackathon all about, and what is the larger SharePoint 25 anniversary thing, and then also what are the awards for the hackathon? So first of all, we're celebrating SharePoint 25th anniversary, and the day, the birthday anniversary day, was on March 2nd. We had a live digital event on that day where we live stream not just a historical recap, but actually we announced a lot of cool, really cool stuff together with AI in SharePoint, automation. There was a skills support, all of that stuff actually being explained within that live stream. So you don't want to miss that. That recording is available at AKMS SP at 25, which will actually put you in the Microsoft Community Learning channel. I'm just trying to remember all of the channels what we have. So the recording is available there from that URL, so you don't want to miss that. And there was an additional set of videos which we actually rolled out related on, for example, AI authoring as part of that. And then on top of that, where we kickstarted this hackathon, we are having these live streams. If you missed any of the previous live streams, they are, of course, all in the Microsoft Community Learning YouTube channel, so you're able to catch them later on. Or maybe you're watching this also as a recording. You never know. That's live. Now, let's actually then go a bit more detailed on the hackathon. So first of all, Paolo, can you go through what are the hackathon submission categories where people can actually build their stories?
Definitely. When it comes to submitting your proposal, your projects to the hackathon, you have 6 different categories that you can target. The UX design one is the one where you want to show the visual design, the branding, the layout ideas you had in order to customize the experience of SharePoint Online, and especially if you did something great in the fields of usability and accessibility. Then we have the mobile experience. So if you're building a solution which is really powerful when you are on a mobile device, or if you want to use the latest and greatest news that we announced even in this series of videos in the hackathon, well, go for it. The knowledge agent, if you are willing to build solutions on top of document libraries with the knowledge agent in place, or agent with SharePoint, which is yet another category, which is the one whenever you want to create any kind of agent, not only SharePoint agents, but can be any kind of agent which will interact with content you store in SharePoint Online. Then we have the SharePoint Framework. I mean, we are here to talk about SharePoint Framework today. So the SharePoint Framework category is the one for all of those customization which are code-based. And the SharePoint embedded one is for those of you who want to rely on the backend engine of SharePoint, where the front end is a custom-built solution relying on the SharePoint embedded backend. One question that is burning in my mind, Vesa, is, as a candidate, can I submit a solution in multiple categories, or should I need to choose just one category? How does it work?
So as you create the video and you're submitting the video, so again, submissions are videos. We're going to cover that in the end of the flow discussion as well, but they are videos from 1 minute to 8 minutes. And when you're submitting them, you are able to select which of the categories the video actually is targeting into. And that could be one to many categories. So a lot of the submissions already are actually falling into multiple categories. So it could be the UX design together with mobile experience, or the SharePoint home site experience, because that's the mobile experience, where you then also showcase agents and knowledge agents, and you might have SPFx components in that SharePoint UX, because that's what SharePoint Framework is all about. It's about the UX extensibility and UX options directly in SharePoint. Having a SharePoint embedded together with others doesn't really make that much sense, maybe theoretically in some scenarios, but SharePoint embedded is anyway the model where you have a custom UX and you choose not to use SharePoint UX, but you store actually information in the SharePoint style containers. So it's a bit of an isolation. We do have a live stream on that one tomorrow where they will go through all of the details on that as well. But again, super long answer. That was a consulting way of answering your question, Paolo. Did you know that?
Well, the consulting answer should have been, it depends, actually.
Yes, it depends, yes. But in this time, it doesn't depend. So the answer is yes, you're going to have multiple categories within your submission. So that's definitely supported. Now, then the question is, why would you actually why would you create something? Why would you submit? What are you getting for submitting? And let's go through the awards for this hackathon as well. So first of all, every single person who's submitting a story or submitting a video, because again, they're videos, they don't have to be open source, they don't have to be code which you're putting in GitHub. Video is enough for the submission, for story, sharing your story and what you built. Every single person who creates them will get a badge, a special SharePoint Hackathon badge from Correctly, which will be then available for you to put to your profile. We also acknowledge explicitly the top 3 submissions for every single category. So again, we have 6 categories. From all of those, we acknowledge the top 3. Some of them might be overlapping, but we'll see how it goes. And those that acknowledgement, English is so hard. Acknowledgement will actually happen in the blog post and in the official videos, which we'll push out as part of the 25th of March event, which will be the announcement of the top 3 for every single category, the awards show. Yes, that's the right way of saying that. Now, the top team, and the team can actually have 1 to 4 person, every single person within the team will get a Surface laptop. So technically, again, one submission, it could be a team who's building the overall solution. And if there's a 4 person in that team, they can actually, every single one of them will get a Surface laptop. So they don't have to split a single laptop for 4 pieces, because that wouldn't make any sense, right? And then the final thing, just to call out, and this is not actually explicitly only limited for the hackathon. We do have a lot of community calls happening every single week. We did have more than 28,000 live community call attendees within last calendar year at AKMS community calls URL. But we do encourage the community members also to volunteer, showcasing what they built within a hackathon within our community, within the community calls. Because again, those community calls where we have community demos, those are great opportunities for you to repeat the story, explain your solution, and you will get exposure, and we'll absolutely acknowledge that contribution for the community as well. But that's kind of the awards for the hackathon. So that is why every single person should be involved in the hackathon. And we are only in Wednesday on the 2nd week, and you have time until Monday 16th at midnight on Pacific time. So depending on where you are from a time zone perspective, it could be actually halfway through Tuesday next week when the deadline actually hits. And technically, I'm not going to go there. But let's keep that deadline. So, yes. Anyway, so you have until Monday, 16th of March to get your submission in and the video submission. And again, every single person getting the video in and the submission in through the channel will get that Correctly badge. And again, those people we will then judge those submissions, and top 3 will get acknowledged. Top 1 will get the award, and every single person is also encouraged to volunteer for a demo within our community calls. Cool. That's a quick intros for the hackathon. And again, as part of this hackathon, we are also doing one live stream per all of those 6 different categories. And that's why we do have quite a lot of live streams this time, because we want to make sure that the feature PMs, the owners of the capabilities from Microsoft, are able to showcase the latest and greatest, or recap what's available, and make sure that everybody's up to date where we are with that particular functionality. And this time today, we're going to talk about SharePoint Framework. So let's actually invite my really good friend and a colleague, Bert Janssen, to this discussion.
Hello,
thank
folks.
You. Excellent. Thank you, Bert. Let's start with an intros. Explain who you are, and maybe you're the right person to explain what is the role with you and me within the SPFx. So how do we deal those things?
Yeah. Let's do that. Welcome everyone. I'm Bert Janssen. I'm a principal product manager for the SPFx, working on features for SPFx. And Vees is also principal product manager for SPFx, and we kind of divide the world a bit, where I tend to build and make things, and he tends to maybe talk and market about things a bit more. Obviously, there's overlap. It's not like black and white, but we both have our roles. I'm more like internal facing, Vees is slightly more outward facing, but we both are driving SPFx, and hope you enjoy using it. And we have some cool stuff to show in this upcoming demos here on this live stream.
Absolutely. That's a good way of putting that. So, and of course, so again, Bert is also as part of the open source and community stuff. But again, I'm in open source and community, but then we're overlapping. So it's not a black and white divider, but he's the star and the brains making things happen. I'm just claiming the success. No, just kidding.
Wow. You're doing a lot of work, so don't undervalue your role.
Fair. Cool. But anyway, I think it is time for us to actually start focusing on the features. And again, because this is one of the weird live streams for me, because I'm both host and a speaker. So Paula, we will actually ask you to just disappear on the background, and then we can start talking on what is the latest and greatest, or what is SharePoint Framework in the first place. So let's actually talk about a few things on the SharePoint Framework, and let's move into the few slides. And we're going to talk about what is SharePoint Framework, just recapping things, and then we're going to talk about the latest and greatest, what are the upcoming features. We're going to show some of the upcoming features, where we are with them, and then we're going to talk a bit about the roadmap as well. But key point here is that please remember, during this live stream, you have a great opportunity of asking questions, either in tech community or in YouTube. So if there's any questions, you're like, hey, SharePoint Framework, what does that mean? Let's actually ask this question. We are here to answer those questions, and that is one of the beauty of this hackathon live stream. So everybody can have any question as they want, and we'll cover them live within this AMA sessions. Cool. Now, let's quickly recap. SharePoint Framework, again, SharePoint Framework has existed quite a long time, actually. We started building that already back in 2015 or so, but it has been evolving a lot since, at the same time as the web stack development has been evolving, and there has been new versions of many JavaScript frameworks, and the SharePoint Framework keeps on evolving as well. So initially, SharePoint Framework was targeting SharePoint, and then it actually expanded on Microsoft Teams, then it expanded on Microsoft Viva, then expanded on Outlook. We've been doing some experiments also on Copilot side of the house, so you might have seen and that kind of a slide on this one as well. We'll have more announcements on those things a bit later, not maybe on this live stream, but still. But SharePoint Framework is kind of started from SharePoint, but it is much broader than that. We do know how widely it's being used, for example, for Microsoft Teams, for those personal applications and channel applications, because it is super easy to build those Teams applications and experiences using SharePoint Framework. Now, the SharePoint Framework really focuses on that kind of a content-driven applications. What it means is that you have really easy access on SharePoint and information in SharePoint. So, for example, storing configuration or items in your SharePoint lists, or library documents in a SharePoint, and then modify them using the SharePoint Framework code. We also have a fully automatic single sign-on, because the person who's running the SharePoint Framework solution, or the SharePoint Framework solution, is running within the page of SharePoint. So it actually is running within the identity of the user, and that also means that there's an automatic single sign-on for the user permissions when the user is, for example, hitting any of the APIs. One of this really cool thing on SharePoint Framework, which is actually unique, nobody else in Microsoft 365 is doing this. We do have a fully automatic hosting capability, which is an optional thing. You can absolutely put your SharePoint Framework solution hosted in CDN, but the most simplistic thing, and also from a security perspective, quite relevant thing for many customers, is that customers don't want necessarily external applications coming to their tenant. They want the applications run inside of their tenant, and that is the automatic hosting what we have with SharePoint Framework. So you can just deploy your solution to the app catalog, and poof, the JavaScripts and CSS files, all of the other files are getting extracted and automatically hosted inside of the customer tenant. So you don't have to allow external applications to access information or the profile information inside of within the customer tenant, because again, it's inside of that tenant, which is a super unique experience. Now, with SharePoint Framework, you're able to build those using the web stack tooling, so modern web tooling. There's certain nuances on that one. For example, there are certain technical dependencies. So it does mean that right now you cannot use the latest version of Node or latest version of React yet with SharePoint Framework. We are addressing absolutely all of that, but it's more a dependency tree, which we unfortunately have for you as a 3P, as an external developer, because also our internal engineering uses SharePoint Framework. So as SharePoint Framework is being used by Microsoft, there's a dependency tree on what's running on the SharePoint page. And right now, unfortunately, for example, in the case of React, you cannot use React 18 yet, but we'll talk about that one maybe in a second.
Yeah.
So
it's a good thing that SPFx is also used for internal development. So it's
correct.
you're not just 3P-ing, it's like a really the core thing to extend SharePoint for 1P and for 3P for everyone across the world. So that makes it's even more valuable in my mind.
Absolutely, absolutely. And one of the last thing on the slide what we're mentioning is the governance, a super important piece of this. We thought about the IT governance from a day one, including, that wasn't in a day one, but the global deployment mechanism. So what it means is that if you need to, for example, get a custom buttons or command sets or menu items to a document libraries, and every single document library in a tenant, that's really easy. You'll just deploy an SPFx solution and you configure it to be available in every single instance of a document library, and it will be there instantly. And it's not for new document libraries. It is a runtime resolution that, hey, wait a minute, this button should be actually rendered in this document library or within every single list within these kind of site types and all of that stuff. So there's multiple ways of doing this, but there's a thought from a day one that we thought about the end-to-end governance and control on doing this. And oh boy, I spent a lot of time on this slide. So let's move
as usual.
Yes.
Let's move to the next one.
Let's move to the next one. Quickly just recapping, SharePoint Framework can be used in multiple locations. The beauty of SharePoint Framework also is that the same component can be running in multiple different locations. You write it once, and it can be actually exposed in multiple locations. And we're looking into having additional options here as well in the future. So it's not only just these four, but just
exciting options coming, actually. Really exciting options coming.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, with SharePoint Framework, if you go forward, just recapping also, we are committed on providing a monthly updates as a blog post on the roadmap. So we've been actually starting doing this from mid last year, and we are committed on doing this also in the future. So just want to make sure that everybody's up to date on the roadmap, communication, what is the latest, and what are we planning to do. And if there's any changes on schedules, you can always find those out within this monthly roadmap updates. The February one went live on the last week of February. The March one is scheduled for the last week of March, and so on. So we're going to always update that going forward as well. So avoiding any surprises and making sure that you're up to date on the latest and greatest immediately. When we have a date, you will have a date for the new stuff as well. Good. And then we always kind of a bit brag about the usage of SharePoint Framework, but it is without the numbers, but it is significant. So I updated the slide actually, and today, if you've ever seen this in the past, that should be actually saying, well, it is saying that, no, it's this monthly still. It's good to say actually daily. So we do have more than tens of millions of daily active users of SharePoint Framework in Microsoft 365. So it is a super widely used, and you can see that adoption curve just going up and beyond. The reason why we show this is just giving you some insights, also transparency, that is this a platform which will be there also in the future? And answer is yes, absolutely. Customers are adapting this more and more. Partners are building more and more capabilities with SharePoint Framework. It's being used more and more. Again, tens of millions of daily active users, which is mind-boggling. So
right, and this is just the 3P usage. This doesn't count like any 1P. This is you developers creating solutions for your customers, and they contribute to all of this massive usage from SharePoint Framework.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, quick recap on how to get started on SPFx. Just there might be new people who are actually not familiar how to get started. So SPFx is a tooling. We do have a default Yeoman generator, which is available at AKMS SPFx. There's the documentation, everything else, and insights over there. You can easily start scaffolding your solutions. Now, on top of this tooling, together with other CLI for Microsoft 365 community tooling and open source tooling, there has been a community effort, which we were involved and we're still involved from Microsoft side, called SPFx Toolkit. And this is by far the easiest way to get started. It's by far the easiest way to actually build your SharePoint Framework solution, because it has immediate actions and buttons and management directly in Visual Studio Code. So you don't have to worry about any commands or command line things. It is a toolkit which actually just works. And you can use it also to double check that your developer environment is matching the requirements of SPFx development. There are buttons to actually give you the insights on that. And then the new thing, which we're going to talk about today, not too much, is the SPFx CLI. So what we're going to do starting end of March, early April, we're going to release a new version or new product called SPFx CLI. And this is a open source scaffolding tooling for SharePoint Framework, including open source templates. So it will allow you to actually then contribute back on these templates, which we actually have within for SPFx. And if you don't want to contribute back, but we want to use your custom templates and custom solution structures, that will be supported as well. So if you are an ISV or a partner or a customer and you have a bit of a larger development team and you want to have a baseline templates only for that team, you are able to do that. So you're able to target that CLI to use alternative templates, which is pretty, very cool as well. And again, fully open source development happens in GitHub as well. And I will share a quick teaser on that one today. But let's talk a bit about other stuff as well. Bert continues here. A few teasers and then live demos after that.
Yep. We have some really cool live demos lined up, but let's first run to a couple of slides. So first one, developer toolbar or debug toolbar. You'll see us using a bit of both terms together. And this will be shown in the demo. But this is a really cool feature that will make your debug experience a bit easier. You have a clear visual indication that you are debugging. Doesn't matter how you debug, what you debug, your web part, extension, that debug toolbar will always be there. It provides easy access to different things like the developer dashboard, but I'm not going to talk too much about it because we'll show it in a demo. So let's move to the next new feature. And that's also a really long-standing ask from community, from ISVs, is like, can I group the custom commands in that with SPFx I can add to like a list or to a document library? Before this, your commands would just be added on bottom of the list, and you had like a massive amount of commands, and that wasn't really convenient, especially if you have multiple products coming together and everyone adding their own commands. So you get a lot of kind of a long list of commands. Now we'll have options for you to group those commands. And again, there will be a demo of this. I think the first time ever we show this phase for this new feature. So looking forward to tell that and to show that to everyone. Then next one, we have the SPFx CLI. We've already talked about that. We are gradually replacing Yeoman generator with a new structure, open source structure, where you have templates that you can that we provide. You can change. You have your own version of your templates. It will be super easy to scaffold projects. It will be also easier in AI scenarios to have AI agents use the CLI to create SharePoint SPFx solutions. Vesa will show a demo of that as well. So I'm not going to drain the slide too much, and I think we rather focus time on the demos. I think that's more cooler for everyone to see like live things in action. Yep. And then finally, we have another long-standing ask and a really cool feature, I would say, and that's form customizers in the edit and new panels. So for the people that have used form customizers in the past, they work great, but they bring the user, they take the user outside of the context. So if you a form customizer and you say edit list item, for example, then a new full page opens. So you don't see the list anymore. You see the form customizer, but everything else is kind of out of context, gone. And that's not really a super intuitive experience. So now we are aligning the form customizers with the default list experience. So they will appear inside the list and the new panels, just like the default experience. So it will be much more streamlined and easier for users to use those. And you can use those form customizers to build additional validation, add a different UX for your data entry, whatever you want. Everything's possible because you own the complete canvas, but it's really embedded nicely in SharePoint like it should be.
Yes, like it should be. Yes, it should be. But we are addressing that ask now.
We are addressing that ask, and so
yes.
there's always room for improvement. And
Absolutely.
if there's feedback on these things, please give us feedback. Let us know what we need to change.
Absolutely.
Then I think
now let's move actually, Bert, for your demo. I think we'll start with the debugging toolbar, and then we'll transition me, and then we're flip-flopping a bit. But let's actually go through some live demos, and we'll come back on the AMA and roadmap discussion after that.
Alrighty, let's switch to my other screen here. So here I have a solution that I created. It's a default scaffold solution, so nothing done actually, like the default hello world type solution that SPFx gives you, because the point is showing debug toolbar and not showing actual code. So I'm gonna start the solution with have start. I always use have start, no browser, because I press F5 later on to start debugging. But let's have to get running. This should be really quick. Here we go, almost there, almost there. And then once we're there, and we press F5, and let's go into our demo. This is loading right now. And now we're going to the browser, and we get the question to load debug scripts, which we definitely have to say yes, otherwise we can't debug. So loading debug scripts. And let me zoom in a little bit in the browser, make it a bit bigger for everyone, like this. All right, so hopefully you notice some different thing here, and that's the different thing is the green bar on top. This is our debug toolbar or developer toolbar that you will see whenever you debug in the future. We are actually rolling out this change right now, so you might see it, you might not yet see it. We are at 10% and will be at 100% in about 15 days or so from now. So this change will get to your tenant quite soon. And then once you have that change there, whenever you start a debug session, you'll see this toolbar. Now, what can you do with the toolbar? What are the options? First of all, basic, showing you the manifest that you're loading. In this case, I'm debugging. I'm loading from localhost. You see the URL that you load the manifest from. That's pretty basic. You can hide the bar. I'm not going to do it right now, but if you hide the bar, maybe you want to take a screenshot without the debug toolbar, so you just hide the bar, and then you can continue doing that. It enables you to see the developer dashboard. So here I'm in the developer dashboard. Developer dashboard is a feature we had like for quite a long time already, but it was hidden behind a command key, a shortcut, which people didn't remember. Even I forget about the actual shortcut. But now it's a click away, so much easier to see information about your solution that you're loading and about the performance and the load times and everything. So convenient to get to the developer dashboard or hide it again. We have an option to log a bug. We have our SPDevDocs repo in GitHub, which is the common place for people to create developer-related questions, issues. So if you do that, now it's easy accessible. There is help, which brings you to the SharePoint Framework documentation. I think that's a quite obvious one. And finally, there is stop, which does do a reset of your session. So if you want to stop debugging, use this option, because then next time you load, your things will just work as previously before you start debugging. So clean solution, clean load. Now, there's a couple of other things that I have to talk about here. Now, this page is not in edit mode, but if you put the page in edit mode, you'll see additional options appearing. So here we go. We are in edit mode. And if I go to my web part, that this is my web part that I created, that I'm debugging. I can now see this web part button over here, and I can look at the web part data, which is the properties of the web part. You see here the description and the actual. This is the property of the web part. But you can also see the manifest of the web part like this. And that same thing applies also for like 1P web parts. So you can put a 1P web part on there and use the same options to see the same type of data. So I think with that, I want to wrap up this little demo for the debug toolbar or the developer toolbar. It's a cool feature that enables you to be more productive when developing, have things at hand. And yeah, this is the first version of this debug toolbar. If there's ideas about new versions, of new features, of things to add, please let us know. We're open for feedback there and want to further improve the debug experience overall for SPFx. And cool. I think with that, Faisal, let's move to our next demo.
Yes,
looking forward to that.
Let's jump on here. We're not going to do a live demo, actually, how the CLI works, but I'm going to show you a few things how the CLI actually behaves as we transition from my side of the screen. So let's actually jump there. There we go, excellent. So a few things to notice. I will zoom in a bit. So right now, this repo is still private. We're looking into getting it public ASAP as we get the first version published. Most likely that will already happen in March, because this doesn't have a direct dependency on a client-side component. So we can actually start evolving this as fast as we get the first NPM packages published. The location will be GitHub SharePoint SPFx. So it will be SPFx is the CLI name, what you will be then using for creating things. Our developer team, Nick and Ian, are basically now just finalizing things, so we're able to start getting contributions in. We have to have the pipelines and everything else in place before we can actually allow you to get in here. But already giving you a bit of an insight, so there are contribution guidance, and then there are, of course, guidance on how to get started on development, so setting up development environment and everything else, if you want to start contributing on the CLI as well. The key point and key value again on the CLI is, for example, the fact that all of those templates which we have currently in Yeoman Generator will be actually contributable templates directly within this GitHub repo. So as part of the CLI behavior, you can actually be a CLI code, you can actually see how the CLI works, for example, how we change the component name, capitalized case, and all of that. But you can even contribute additional templates, which potentially we might get. We need to revisit what templates we are, or adjust existing templates. Now, but that's not all. We will actually also support the fact that what we kind of touched briefly, you are able to, am I in the right location? Yes, you are able to pinpoint to another set of library components and another set of source components within this usage. And basic idea there is that you do not need to explicitly only use the templates which we provide. You can design your own templates using the same matter, and you're able to pinpoint them. So you have two options. You can either contribute back on existing templates, which are open source, and then we'll have an open source review on them, or you can start having a separate set of templates within your company, or a separate set of community templates. It's a one way of actually approaching this, which might be evolving to another direction than the out-of-the-box templates which are coming from Microsoft. And that provides us a lot of flexibility in the future, as everything, again, will be fully open source, so you're up to date on what's actually happening. You're able to suggest things, adjustments, and all of that stuff directly in SPFx. What's happening with my GitHub? There we go. Now it's rendering, probably. Yes, that was a weird rendering. Anyway, but that's a quick teaser there. Right now, this location is not yet open, but again, github.com SharePoint SPFx is the location where you will find this one really, really, really soon. And we'll start showcasing with the videos and introduction videos how to start using that. But it's relatively simple, relatively baseline things. There are command line commands how to do the rules. I want to have a new template with this kind of a selection of configuration. You just run a command in command line and you will get it. And that's it. Really cool stuff.
Yep, the CLI will be really powerful. And it's like a modern version now.
Finally.
Finally, it will work better with AI
yes.
coding tools for sure, because
Yes.
they are more trained on using CLIs versus using Yeoman. So that's really good. I also like the fact that now we can have, user customer can have your own templates, your own version.
Yes.
And you can, for example, if you're, and we know that many people use PNP.js as the standard way when they develop SPFx components. You can make your templates with PNP.js already embedded, your boilerplate code already in there, all of that. So it's easy for you to then get started from your custom template and kickstart your development and save some time there and have some uniformity across your developer environment. If you have worked with multiple developers or you work with partners, etc., so you can kind of really do a nice setup, enterprise level grade setup. So that's really cool.
Absolutely, absolutely, really, really cool. Good. I think it's then time to flip on your side, Bert. Let's talk about the one thing which we showed, which was the grouping in list view command set. So this is something what we've been so many years people have been asking this, but again, it's better late than never. So we are rolling this out as part of the 1.23. The schema files are already updated. If you look on the developer schema files, they were uploaded actually yesterday, or day before yesterday. But the client side capabilities for this functionality will be coming as one part of 1.23.
Correct. There will be 1.23, and this actually will be the first time we'll show this feature to the world.
Yes. Live demo,
so
first time
live
ever.
Demo,
hackathon,
yes.
Special hackathon moment.
So let me again just start with serving the solution first, so that it gets running, and then we can actually jump into the. I'll first show what you get, how it works. What you will see is as an end user when you use the feature that you as developer create, and then we can talk a bit more about the core changes when you actually develop command sets, what you need to do to enable grouping. So at this point, the serving is done, it's running. So I'm going to press F5 again. So I'm switching to my debug setup. So it's loading up. Here we go. Yes, there we are. Let's load the debug scripts. And again, you see the debug toolbar over here. So that also is there if you debug, create extensions like list customizers. Sorry, command set grouping. But yeah, that debug toolbar will be everywhere. Really good. But focus on this one now is the command set grouping. You already see one command over here, group 2. Let me select the item because we configured the commands to conditionally show, like if I select an item, I show group this particular command. If I don't select an item, I don't show this one. But now both are selected, visible. So this is like the regular one. Sorry, this already is grouping. We have a group, and in there we have a command 1. And we go to this group, we even have like a subgroup. So let me zoom in a bit. So here we have the first group, we have a subgroup, and a subgroup can then contain, again, commands. So this enables you as a developer or as an ISV creating products to nicely put things together which are logically together versus putting them all in a long list, which then is really not super intuitive. This makes it more intuitive and aligned with what SharePoint also does from an internal 1P perspective.
As in out of the box. Just to always clarify, 1P
yes,
means
1P equals,
yes.
yeah, indeed. That's indeed a good call out. Like people, 1P, 3P. It's like, where's 2P? Where's 4P?
Yes,
yeah.
exactly. 2P is a code name internally as well, but let's not go there.
Well. Let's not go there. No. But so the visual output of the visual result of this feature is that you can group your command set extensions. So everything is nicely grouped, and you can just, they work like they used to do, like nothing special there. The group one, you can't, if you click on it, it just expands. There is nothing behind, trigger, but the actual ones, you can click on them and you get something. Like in this case, it's just a basic alert. The same works for libraries as well. If I copy this, I have to copy the debug string here. So copy that, and let's open up the documents library. Let it load, and then I'm gonna paste the debug string. So we load it with debugging enabled. Did I do that correct? Let's do a Shift F5, load it again. Just all right.
There we
debug
go.
scripts. There we go. And now you have a document library with the same approach. So you see the same commands popping up. Like here is the group 2 with the subgroups. And if I select the document, I also will see the group 1 with the command in there. So
yep,
same works in document library as well. So
just to call out this one, so because this is not really on the SPFx, but again, there's commonly a question related on, wait a minute, but my buttons are getting now hidden on behind of that 3 dots, and there's so many out-of-the-box buttons. Can I somehow control which buttons are visible, or make sure that my buttons are not hidden within that menu?
Yep, you can actually change that list formatter, view formatter.
Yes,
list view formatter.
Yes.
You can actually make.
We're not going to do the live demo on that one today. I'm not going to push you on the spot, Bert. But,
no. I thought about it, but they would probably
yes,
get us too far off. But you can
yes,
actually even put your group of your button being the first one in the list.
yes.
So you have control and options to change this default behavior. Today, indeed, since I zoomed in a lot, the button is behind the 3 dots. But you can change it so it shows more in front if your solution requires that. So you have the freedom.
Yep, definitely.
I want to show one more thing before we switch, Vesa, and that's actually a bit of code. So it's a developer session, so we can show at least a bit of code. Actually, it's JSON, so it's not even code. Well, is it code?
Debatable.
Debatable. Let's not go there. But for the folks that use this feature in the past, I think this looks familiar. You have you have a title, you have an icon, and then you have a type. Now the type is something new. We have a group type now. Previously you had type command. That was the only thing that you could use. You could just add commands sequentially in a list. Now we have a type group. So I created group 1, group 2, and group 2_1. So 3 groups created in here. And then what you then do with the commands, you simply put them in the group. So pretty straightforward. Command 1 goes to group 1, command 2 goes to group 2, and then the other 2, command 3 and 4, they go to group 2_1. So this is the way how you create the structure. You cannot go beyond this 2 levels. So what you saw in the demo, that's the max level. So you can't keep expanding that. So there's a limitation aligned like what we have out of the box.
It's a design limitation. Design.
It's a design.
Yes.
It's a choice we made when creating the feature. But it's a very easy transition if you already have this and you want to kind of group your commands. So it's like 5 minutes of work and you're done essentially. Once we ship 1.3. So
yes,
super easy.
Come back on the roadmap and schedule in a second. So
yes.
Cool. Let's then transition on my side of the house. I'm going to just tease out something, just an idea. We've been playing around with a concept on the Copilot and Copilot API and Copilot integration and all of that. But in this case, I'm going to show a web part, which is using the Copilot APIs behind the scenes. They went partly GA, partly preview back in Ignite 2025. And SPFx is a really great capability or platform to actually use the Copilot APIs and to build capabilities which are then AI powered behind the scenes. Because again, in SPFx, you can really easily double check it has the user the license. If the user has a license, then we are able to build AI powered capabilities super easily just by using the SharePoint Framework solution. So let's have a look on this quick demo, and then we come back on the roadmap and then catch up on AMA questions if there's any, and then we kind of close up. I'm talking always too much, but it's okay. Anyway, so here we have a typical kind of a classic home site, but we're not going to focus on the home site this much. Beautiful looking site, by the way. Thank you, Stefan Bauer, for designing beautiful looking things. That ugly white one is because I played around with the site, so that's on me.
You wrote it.
Yes, I broke it. Anyway, but what we wanted to actually have a look on is really AI-powered integration with SPFx. And I'm going to be super blunt and transparent. I use Claude, my developer friend, to make this happen. Claude and agentic coding works really well with SPFx. But here's a simple example of my tasks or my daily plan or my daily brief, which is actually powered by the Microsoft 365 Copilot. And this is actually really cool. So if you are watching this view, before noon, it will be basically the morning brief, which is telling today's list and today's meetings and what's happening on what time, and what are the focus times available and the attentions based on the email, for example, what we should be doing. So it is capable of prioritizing the tasks, your calendar ends, your tasks, your emails, and based on document things, what you've done, what is the most important things to get done for today. If you're watching this functionality or this web part on after the noon and before 5 p.m., it's a bit of a different thing for me and Bert because we're working really weird hours. But anyway, then it will show the right now capability, which is basically showcasing the things, what's happening today and what's coming up next. Now it's already 6:45 p.m. on this particular time zone. I have no idea which time zone we are. It's my time zone. Okay, cool.
It's your time.
It is client-side time zone, yes. So that basically means that I don't have any meetings, so it's not doing that. But it's still okay. It's flagging me this thing for high priority task for tomorrow. So it's already capable of understanding, hey, wait a minute. If you have now the time, you actually have this task waiting for tomorrow. So you might actually want to have a look on that. Or focus on the tomorrow's sent weekly progress report already today. It also has this nice AI summary, summary based on what's actually happening within your calendars and emails and everything else. And then the last thing, functionality is tomorrow. It's going to actually give me the daily brief for tomorrow. So an overview, what kind of meetings I have, 2.5 hours meetings, focus blocks, and pending tasks for tomorrow. So I know exactly what I need to do tomorrow rather than going through all of the different locations. So basic idea is relatively simple. And the concept of this one actually came to my mind because Fabio Francini and Giuseppe, I can't remember the person's name, I do apologize. The winner for SPFx session last hackathon had something similar within their functionality and solution. Please check it out. It was really, really cool. So I basically used that concept as an idea. But it actually gives a lot of interesting insights, also evening prep checklist for tomorrow and all of that stuff, which is pretty cool. So how does it actually do this? How does it actually work? Now, this is implemented in a relatively simple way using, first of all, Microsoft Graph Services. So we do have get to-do tasks, get my messages and emails, important emails, get my tomorrow events, so calendar information. So first of all, understanding what do I have calendar right now or what do I have for tomorrow, and collecting that information, collecting the subject, location, start time, end time, all of that stuff. So information about that. And then we use Copilot API to basically say, okay, let's build a prompt for Copilot API. And in that prompt, what we're going to do is that we're going to have, is it for morning now or tomorrow, analyze the following work data and provide consistent daily briefing. So it will basically, will dynamically build based on my future plans and actions and emails, what I have currently in my inbox or in task list, a prompt. And then we say top 3 priorities, meeting preparation suggestions, and this is basically what I'm asking it to do. And we're saying, please format that in the JSON format. And then we execute that against the Copilot, and Copilot is using then LLM and intelligence AI inside of it with all of this data. This is going to be a relatively big prompt which is coming in, and then it's going to format the response back in a JSON format. And that is actually what you see then being rendered in a UX level in here. So we're using Copilot to give us, Copilot kind of an API to give us a JSON structure back, so we're able to render that efficiently within the UX, which is really cool. And that's basically what's happening always when I do a refresh. behind of the scenes. And of course, we can use Graph to double check is the user having the right licenses and all of that stuff. And again, I'm not going to spend too much time in here, but of course, because it's a Microsoft Team SharePoint Framework solution, it definitely works also in Microsoft Teams. I didn't have a time to do it really pretty with the names and icons and everything else, which is a bit of a bummer, but it works here as well super nicely in Teams, which means that it works in Outlook, which means that it works in all of the different locations in Microsoft 365 as well.
The power of SPFx.
Power of SPFx.
Use everywhere.
Yes, and a kind of a typical scenario also with AI as well. So you provide a lot of information for AI and basically say, give me that in certain format back, and then you're good.
This is a super powerful pattern because indeed you build a prompt, provide data in, and you get the JSON back, structured data back, which you can automatically read and then change your UX based upon what you get back from the prompt from the LLM system. So,
yes.
And you don't have to worry about hosting LLM. Everything is just
everything is the LLM is in Copilot. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's Copilot.
Absolutely.
So you already have everything up and running. So one API call and you're good to go. So really cool. Really compelling demo.
We're doing this as a live stream. I'm trying to get this one shared in my own personal GitHub right now, later today already. I do apologize, I didn't have time to get it still there yet. So if somebody is interested on having a look on the code, but it is really cool stuff. To be able to make it work, you will need to have a Copilot license. If you don't have a Copilot license, it will basically say, you don't, in a nice error message, you don't have a Copilot license, so I cannot actually work in the right way, which is a good way of also failing or handling those situations. So proper message for the end user. Now we're running so much out of time, but it's fine. There would be so much other things to talk about. But let's jump on the roadmap discussion, because I think that's important to understand where we are and what have we promised to deliver for now. There is other stuff in the pipeline as well. But first of all, 122 December, 122 is the current GA version of SharePoint Framework. That's the one what you should be using if you want to use the latest and greatest of SPFx. And that was a relatively big change because we transition from COP to heft. So we do understand that for some people that will take a while to get used to, and for me as well, it took a while to get used to, but it is actually better for the future. We're kind of doing a reset from the tooling. The debugging toolbar is rolling out right now. I think it's now past 10%. It might be 20% today.
I pushed it further, yes.
Okay, so but it's looking into being 100% in March 20th. So you'll start seeing the debugging toolbar. Eventually, that is intended to actually replace the local workbench because there's no need for that. So
one thing to add there. Once you see the debug toolbar, you can also be prompted for feedback. So
yes,
like with
really
any
important.
other SharePoint feature, we use the official feedback system in SharePoint now for SPFx development. So if you get a prompt, ask for feedback about SPFx, please give us feedback. Let us know. It will be like one question, generic question where you answer, where you tell what you like about SPFx or you don't like about SPFx. And you can then click next and you get more detailed survey, which is optional, but would also prefer, like if you would kind of give us that feedback as well.
It would be awesome. It would be awesome if you can give us the feedback. It helps us. So prioritizing our resources in the right way. And then 123, we're going to roll out a preview version of 123, and potentially even GA version in March. It might be that we need to switch that to early April, but then that means that we're going to skip 123.1. So let's see how this actually goes, transition. It depends on what kind of things we find from a first preview with 123. And also the CLI might actually get out in March already, not in April. But the key points there will be command set, and then also the new and edit panels are coming really soon. We are now in the mid-March, early March, but within upcoming weeks, we're rolling out the command sets. That's already JSON schemas out, all of that out. It works like Bert was showing today. And then the new and edit panel are in works to actually get working fully. CLI coming out as well. Really cool stuff. Yep. And then 123, right now, we're looking into then having that navigation modes and overrides and all of those things. All of the explicit details on there yet to be locked, but CLI potentially goes GA with that version. And we do have a lot of other stuff related on
really cool
things which we cannot yet talk about. But we will.
To not talk about it.
It's really hard. It's really hard. But you can imagine where we will be investing heavily with SPFx in the future. So this roadmap, what you see here, is something what we shared roughly already back in October. And we've been now then working on the site for the future big investments, and that's gonna. It looks really exciting, but we cannot talk, so it says soon. We'll update monthly roadmap, and we'll definitely do videos, guidance, and all of that stuff as we are able to finally start talking about the next steps. So this is not the end. This is just the start. So cool. That's actually the following thing. So on the following slide, just to call out this one, there's a lot of stuff we're looking into actually doing with AI and AI scenarios, and there's going to be a lot of investments in both no-code, low-code, pro-code things. And this is the baseline kind of a structure with heft and transitioning to CLI. That is a reset on the tooling, so we're able to start executing much more efficiently in the future as we start rolling out more. Well, not more exciting capabilities, but also super exciting capabilities as well.
Yeah.
And one more kind of a reminder before we start wrapping up and checking if there's any questions, is that please, if you have any updates, we do have AKMS SPFx feedback URL, and it's a simple URL for remember, and that is a one form. It is kind of following up on the form more structure what we also have within the toolbar popping up in the space. But if you have kind of a, hey, I want to have them to know that it should do X and Y and Z, please let us know. It can be constructive feedback, it can be positive feedback, it can be whatever feedback you want to share with us. That will be reviewed by us as long as you fill in the form, because we really want to know what you think about SPFx. Good. We're almost out of time. This is really hard. I think we had 2 questions, unless I'm completely mistaken, which we actually want to talk about, and then we will need to start closing up relatively fast with Paolo. This is on me because I always keep on talking too much, so that's one challenge. Bert knows this really well. We've been working together for too long, and Paolo.
Yeah. 19 years and counting.
But it was amazing content, so well done, guys.
Thank you. Thank you. Now, I think we if we want to have a quick chat on a few questions, and then we're going to close up. So first of all, we talked about when is SPFx supporting React 18. So that's something which we would love to support already 2 years. Let's be super clear on that. The challenge there is the React has a technical dependency on the first body. So we cannot give you the support of React 18 until the first body, as in Microsoft internally, will start using React 18 for writing their own web parts for SharePoint. And that it is still in the plans, but it keeps on unfortunately getting delayed due to some technical challenges. But that is still within the plan to get moving, and we would love to get it to you right now, but we can't because of the technical dependency. So I do apologize on that one, but just to be super clear for the record on that one. And then we do have another question, which was around, are you looking into having any Copilot agent features? And answer is 100%. You can imagine where everybody's investing in Microsoft right now. It is about the Copilot. We showed a demo today on the Copilot API usage. It is a focus area. We're looking into doing their stuff as well, but right now we cannot talk about these things yet. We're not allowed to spill the beans. Let's put it this way.
But there will be many beans.
Yes. There will be many beans. Yes, definitely. There will be many beans. And so I think that covers the main questions. But I do apologize, Bert. I think we are starting to run out of time. So it is time for me and Paolo to start closing up for the session. Thank you, Bert, for joining.
Thanks for having me. Good luck with Hackathon. Great stuff.
Oh, maybe before you go, quick answer. What would you like to see people submitting on the Hackathon? What would be making you excited? You're one of the judges for SPFx.
Mm-hmm.
What would be the thing what you would like to see?
Oh, now you put me on the spot. There's so many cool things. But I think if you can factor in some AI-related scenarios, that's always great. But also just write SPFx, meaning I think we're pretty open on your submissions, and on SPFx is so broad, so no particular, at least from my side, no particular kind of this has to be in there to be a good submission. Do what you think is best for SPFx. You use the features that we have, and make it a compelling showcase.
Cool. Ditto. It's all about the I would say it's all about the scenario and idea. So let's put it that way. But given the timing, let's actually recap. Now, for anybody who's like, wait a minute, what hackathon? Huh? Yes, we are running a hackathon from 2nd of March until 16th of March. And the rules for getting a hackathon submission in are following. Paolo.
Yeah, you need to submit your ideas, go to the AMS/SharePoint/hackathon, create your stuff, create a video, can be between 1 and 8 minutes. So take your time to record a great video to show off what you have done, submit it by the 16th of March. And remember that if you need additional details, we also recorded a video, me, Vesa, and Luis, that you can find in the YouTube channel. And we still have one upcoming live stream tomorrow about SharePoint Embedded. And of course, you can always go back and look what you have missed so far in case you missed anything. And you can go through all of the pre-recorded videos that we already have in the YouTube channel. And of course, there will be the award ceremony, right, Vesa?
Yes, absolutely. Let's actually go to the following view, because again, this is recapping all of the dates. So again, the live streams, which we already had, they're immediately available as a recording. If I wanted to see that again, what Bert was showing, it's okay. This live stream is going to be available within a minute or second when we stop actually live stream. You can go and check the recording. We do have already 5 live streams available. Tomorrow we'll go to the SharePoint Embedded. We'll kind of quickly recap on that one in a second. And again, you can go back and watch those recordings afterwards. But it's not just about the live streams, it's all about your submissions. And then the awards for celebrating the top 3 in every single category happens on 25th of March on Wednesday, live stream directly from MVP Summit, so it's going to be exciting as well. Now, again, recapping for tomorrow, we do have the SharePoint final live stream coming on together with Mark and Steve, and this is focusing on SharePoint Embedded. So that's going to be really exciting live stream as well, and they will go through what it is and how to get started on it. Awesome capabilities on that side as well. But I guess, Paolo, that's it for this one.
That's it. Well done. Great session.
I do apologize. It's on me. I talk too much, so it's always a challenge.
We know that. That's okay. That's okay. Listen, we know that.
Yes. Cool. But for anybody who's like, hey, I cannot watch tomorrow or the awards or anything else, or I would like to meet other people in the community, please remember, April 21st to 23rd, we do have Microsoft 365 Community Conference happening in Orlando. So I will be there, Paolo will be there. We'll talk about agents and AI and SharePoint Framework and many, many other things, and SharePoint and Copilot and Teams. And there's so many sessions from Microsoft and community, so you don't want to miss that one out. And let's close up for today with the video, I think, from Jeff Teeper again on this one. So hopefully we'll see you in Orlando. Thanks, everybody. Let's keep on submitting and let's keep on hacking. Cheers. Bye-bye.
Bye. Hi, everyone. I am so excited to join you at the upcoming Microsoft 365 Community Conference in Orlando, Florida, from April 21st to 23rd. This event is all about the future of work and how Microsoft is redefining what's possible and how you can bring that innovation into the daily flow for everybody in your organization. During the event, I will share how AI-powered experiences across Copilot and Teams, and of course SharePoint, is reshaping how people communicate, create, and work together. We'll highlight what's new, what's different, and why thoughtful design continues to matter. You'll see the latest advances in AI and agents, gain insights into where collaboration is headed, and learn why Microsoft is the company to continue to bet on when it comes to building what's next. You'll get hands-on experience with powerful new AI capabilities designed for every role and every function, walking away with real skills you can use immediately. Most importantly, though, you'll be part of a global community, connecting with experts and practitioners who share your passion for learning and innovating and leading through change. So I hope you'll register today and invite others in your network to join us. I can't wait to see you there.